My daughter promised to take care of me when I got sick. I signed over my house so she could handle the finances. Now she won't return my calls. The nurse told me she moved across the country with her boyfriend. I called her from a hospital phone and she said, "You were always a burden." I just made it official. I hung up and asked the nurse for a legal pad. What I wrote down next. I'm a 63-year-old man living in Rochester, New York. I worked construction for over 40 years. Concrete, roofing, framing. I was good at it. Made a name for myself in the union. I raised my daughter Monica on my own after her mom, Michelle, died when Monica was just 12. Car accident. One of those things that splits your life in half. Before and after. For years, it was just me and Monica. I missed school plays, yeah, and sometimes I got home after she was already asleep, but I always made breakfast, helped with homework, and drove her to every doctor's appointment. She used to tell me, "When I grow up, I'll take care of you like you took care of me." I held on to that. I believed it. Fast forward to 6 months ago. I started having trouble breathing. I'd been coughing for a while, thought it was the cold air or maybe just age creeping up on me. Then one day I collapsed while taking out the trash. Neighbor called 911. Turns out I've got pulmonary fibrosis. It's bad. Doctor said I shouldn't be working anymore. Said I'd need long-term care soon. Monica came to see me at Strong Memorial Hospital. She cried, real tears and everything. Sat by my bed and said, "You don't worry about a thing, Dad. I've got you. I'll handle the finances, the house, the bills, everything." She asked me to sign the house over to her. Said it'd make things easier with insurance and handling the bank. I hesitated. It felt weird, but she kept saying, "It's just paperwork. You'll still live there. I just need it in my name to keep things moving." I didn't think my own daughter would lie to me, so I signed the papers. 3 weeks later, I was moved to a long-term care facility. It's a hospital, but smaller. Fewer nurses. Less noise. They put me on oxygen 24/7. Monica said she'd be by to visit after she wrapped up some things at work. But she didn't come. I called. Straight to voicemail. I left messages. "Hey sweetheart, just checking in. Let me know if you're okay. Hey Moni, haven't seen you in a while. Everything all right?" Nothing. Finally, I asked the nurse if she could help me find Monica. The nurse made some calls. Came back and said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Decker, but it looks like your daughter moved." I found her name on a recent apartment lease, Tempe, Arizona. Arizona? That made no sense. I called her from the hospital line. She picked up. I guess she thought it was a bill collector or someone else. When she heard my voice, she went quiet. I asked her why she left. She laughed. Not a nervous laugh. A mean one. Then she said, "You were always a burden. I just made it official." Then she hung up. I stared at the phone for a while. Didn't cry. Didn't scream. Then I asked the nurse for a legal pad. The first thing I wrote on that pad was her sentence. "You were always a burden. I just made it official." I underlined it. Then I made 2 columns. On the left, names of people I could call. On the right, everything I remembered about the house. Repairs I paid for, taxes I filed, the day I bought it back in '93, the mortgage company, the name of the lawyer who handled the closing. Then I called my cousin Dana. She's a paralegal in Buffalo. Not close, but we grew up together. Told her everything. She didn't hesitate. "Tom, that's elder abuse. It's fraud. We can fight this." Dana got the deed from the county clerk. Said it wasn't just a transfer, Monica sold it. Sold my house to a company in Nevada. A holding company with a fake-sounding name. Dana traced the company back to an LLC. Owned by Kyle Martin, Monica's boyfriend. She told me, "He's running a real estate scam. They do this. Target older people. Get property through someone they trust. Then flip it for cash." I felt sick. That house was all I had left. Paid it off over 30 years. It still had the dent in the wall from when Monica was 9 and threw a hairbrush because I wouldn't let her dye her hair purple. I needed that house back. Dana built the case. She filed with the state. She sent notices to Arizona. She reached out to every agency that could help. Then she found something huge. Kyle had other properties under other names, all tied together. And some were already flagged by the IRS. We found out where they lived. A big stucco place in Tempe. Pool in the backyard. Gated driveway. All paid in cash. I called Paulie, my old foreman. He's semi-retired. Still tough. Told him what happened. He said, you just say the word. He picked me up from the airport with 2 other guys I used to work with. We drove to Monica's place. I stayed in the truck while Dana knocked. Monica answered. Her face dropped. Dad? What the hell are you doing here? Dana handed her a thick stack of legal documents. You've been served. Fraud, theft, elder abuse. This is real. She tried to slam the door. Paulie blocked it with his boot. Then Kyle showed up. Tried to talk big. Tried to threaten. Paulie looked him dead in the eye and said, you lay a hand on her or him, you're going through that wall. They backed down. We left without another word. Back in New York, things moved fast. Dana got the state involved. Turns out Monica signed some things illegally. Kyle had faked some of the sale records. The holding company was forced to return the deed. It took months. But we won. The Arizona house? Frozen by the court. Kyle's assets? Under audit. Monica? Fired from her job. The story made the local paper small article, but it was there. She tried to call me. From a new number. I didn't pick up. She left a voicemail, crying. Said Kyle manipulated her. Said she was scared. I didn't erase it. But I never listened again either. After the court forced the holding company to return the house deed, I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. A few weeks after I got the deed back, I noticed strange things happening around my house. A moving truck pulled up one morning. I was sitting on the porch with my oxygen tank, just watching the neighborhood wake up. A man and woman I'd never seen before walked up my driveway like they owned the place. I stood up, slow and careful, and asked them who they were. We're the new tenants, the guy said. We signed a lease with Kyle Martin's company. They had a rental contract in hand. Looked legit. I called Dana in a panic. She said it was probably a leftover scam from before the house got returned. Kyle must have rented the place out before the court froze his assets. The paperwork might have been fake. Or worse, Monica forged my signature. Dana said, don't let them in. Call the police. So I did. The cops came. They looked at the papers. Said it looked suspicious, but told me I'd need a restraining order and maybe another court hearing to make sure nobody else could try to take the house again. The couple didn't argue. They left without making a scene, but I saw the look on the guy's face as he got in the truck. He wasn't just confused. He was angry. I didn't sleep that night. Every sound outside made me sit up in bed. 2 nights later, I woke up at 3:30 a.m. to a loud bang. Someone had thrown a brick through my front window. There was a note tied to it. You should have stayed in the hospital. I gave the note to the police. They took photos and wrote up a report, but nothing ever came from it. No prints. No suspects. But I knew. Kyle was retaliating. Or maybe Monica was. Either way, it meant one thing: they weren't done with me. Dana pushed for a restraining order against both of them. We got it. But paper only does so much. The next week, my mailbox was smashed. Then the nurse who visits me once a week said someone had called pretending to be her supervisor, asking about my schedule. That was it for me. I bought cameras. I called Paulie. He came over and helped bolt a steel security door on the front. We put up motion lights, changed the locks, and got a sign that said the property was monitored. Even if half the cameras were fake, it made me feel like I had control again. Then, out of nowhere, Monica emailed me. A long message. Said she was trapped in Arizona. That Kyle had been abusive. That she never meant to hurt me and she didn't know about the fake leases or the threats. She said she missed me. Said she wanted to come home. At the bottom of the email, she wrote, please give me a chance to fix this. I'm still your daughter. For the first time since this all started, I hesitated. Because as angry as I was, she was still my kid. But then Dana found something else. Another sale. While Monica still had the deed, she had taken out a home equity loan for $48,000. Used my house as collateral. And that money, gone. Transferred into a joint account with Kyle's name on it. Spent on luxury furniture and airline tickets. That was it. She hadn't just betrayed me once. She buried me in debt while I was in a hospital bed. Dana filed new charges. Civil fraud. Grand larceny. We handed everything to the DA's office. Told them we were willing to press full criminal charges now. Dana also contacted the bank that held the fake equity loan. She argued it was obtained under fraudulent circumstances and should be forgiven. The bank pushed back. They said unless I could prove I was mentally incapacitated when she signed it, I was still responsible. That's when I remembered something. The day Monica brought me the deed to sign, I was on medication. Heavy painkillers. I had just had a lung biopsy and barely remember the conversation. The nurse at the hospital had made a note in my chart that I was drowsy, disoriented, unable to make full medical decisions. Dana got the medical records, sent them to the bank. Things got real quiet for a while. Then the bank reversed the loan, wiped it clean. They also launched an internal investigation into the notary who approved the signature. I was winning, but deep down I knew I hadn't really seen the last of Monica or Kyle. They weren't the kind of people who just walk away when they lose. And I had a feeling something worse was coming. About a month after the bank cleared the fake equity loan, things settled for a bit. No more threats. No broken windows. I started sleeping better. My nurse, Becky, even noticed. "You look like someone who finally took a full breath," she said. But that peace didn't last. One Thursday morning, I got a letter in the mail. Certified envelope. Return address from a law firm in Tempe, Arizona. I opened it. Monica was suing me for emotional distress, slander, and loss of financial opportunity. I stared at the paper like it had grown horns. I read it 3 times before I laughed. I actually laughed. The same woman who stole my house, took out loans in my name, left me in a hospital bed while she moved across the country with her scammer boyfriend, was suing me. The worst part? She had hired a real lawyer. Someone with a decent reputation. They were arguing that I'd made false and damaging public statements that caused her to lose job opportunities and ruined her reputation. They pointed to the local news article about the fraud case and said I had intentionally embarrassed her. Dana read through the documents and just shook her head. She's grasping. This is just a distraction. But I knew Monica. She wasn't just grasping. She was laying the groundwork for something else. She was using this lawsuit to delay the criminal case, to build sympathy, to twist the narrative before the Arizona DA took action. I didn't say it, but I had a gut feeling. This wasn't just about money or reputation. She was trying to beat me before I could finish what I started. 2 days later, Paulie showed up unannounced. He looked nervous. He sat down slow, like he wasn't sure how to say it. "I ran into someone," he said, "at the pharmacy. A guy asking about you." I sat up. "What kind of guy?" Paulie looked me dead in the eyes. "Tattoos. Tall. Kept asking what time your nurse shows up." I told him I didn't know anything. My chest tightened. I called Becky immediately. Told her not to come by without calling first. She agreed. Said she'd be careful. That night, my camera caught someone walking past the back fence. Couldn't see their face, but they stopped and looked directly into the lens. Just stared. Didn't touch anything. Didn't come closer. Just stared. I sent the footage to the police. They said they'd increase patrols. That was all they could do. Then came the biggest twist. Dana called one morning and said, "You need to sit down." I was already sitting, but her tone made my stomach drop. They arrested Kyle. Apparently, one of his old partners had flipped on him in exchange for a lighter sentence in a separate fraud case. He gave up a list of properties Kyle had stolen, mine included. The DA now had proof that Kyle and Monica had been doing this for over a year. My case wasn't the first, or the worst. One of the victims was a 78-year-old woman who lost both her house and her retirement savings. Dana said, "This opens the door. They'll probably indict Monica too. But there's something else." She paused. I could hear her breathing. "Kyle's claiming Monica was the mastermind." I froze. "He says he was just the boyfriend, that she found the victims, that she manipulated them, handled the paperwork, kept the money." I didn't know what to say. My own daughter. Part of me didn't believe it. But another part, the part that remembered how cold she sounded on that phone call, wondered if maybe it was true. Was she the one who planned all of it? Was Kyle just the face and she was the brain? Or were they turning on each other now that things got serious? Either way, it meant one thing. Monica was going to get desperate. And desperate people don't go quietly. I wish I could say the final part of this story was clean, that justice rolled in like a wave and swept away everyone who wronged me. But that's not how real life works. Things got darker before they got better. About a week after Kyle got arrested, Monica's lawyer dropped her. Dana found out through the court system. Monica had missed deadlines, refused to cooperate, and changed her story 3 times. The lawyer filed a motion to withdraw, citing irreconcilable differences. That's when Monica called me again, this time from jail. She'd been picked up in Arizona. The charges? Conspiracy to commit fraud, wire fraud, elder abuse, obstruction, and identity theft. The list went on. The state of New York had worked with Arizona's Attorney General to tie her to everything. The DA used Kyle's testimony, the bank records, Monica's email trail, and even the fake lease agreements. Every move they made was documented, but her voice on the phone didn't sound scared. It sounded angry. "You think this makes you better than me?" she said. "You think your life's been so perfect? You left me with nothing. You made me hate you. I didn't say anything. I just listened. You made me this way," she hissed. That's when I spoke. Calm. Clear. "I made you dinner every night. I read to you when your mom died. I missed work to sit in a hospital when you had pneumonia. I didn't make you this way, Monica. You chose this." She hung up. That was the last time I heard her voice. The trial came 6 months later. I testified. It wasn't easy. They had to bring in extra oxygen tanks, and I had to stop 3 times to catch my breath. But I told the truth. I brought the legal pad. I read from that first page. The sentence she said to me, "You were always a burden. I just made it official." The courtroom went quiet. Kyle pled guilty and got 5 years. Could have been more, but he flipped early and helped take down 2 other scam rings. Monica didn't plead. She went to trial, and the jury saw right through her. All the tears, the "I was manipulated" act. None of it worked. The emails, the forged signatures, the money trails, they all pointed to her. She didn't just go along with Kyle. She designed the scam. She was sentenced to 8 years in prison with no chance of parole for 5. But that wasn't the end. Remember the couple who showed up with a fake lease? They sued her too. Turns out they'd sold everything they owned to move into my house. Lost their savings because of her scam. They won a civil judgment for $35,000. Monica will owe that when she gets out. The IRS came after her too. She had unpaid taxes on the money she stole. She's got another $60,000 in fines waiting for her after her sentence. And the best part? Kyle got released after 5 years. And turned around and sued her for damages, claiming emotional and financial trauma from the scam. She's going to spend the rest of her life trying to pay back everyone she hurt, including the guys she thought she loved. As for me, I got the house back, fully restored, debt-free. The state gave me restitution money under the Elder Abuse Protection Fund. I used it to fix the broken windows, repaint the inside, and install a top-tier security system. I even got a therapy dog. Big black lab named Whiskey. Polly and the guys come by every Sunday. We drink coffee on the porch. Talk about work, life, what's left of it. I still have to carry the oxygen tank. My lungs won't get better. The doctors say I've got a few years if I take care of myself. That's all right with me. Every time I pass that legal pad, I stop and look at that first page. Not because it hurts anymore, because it reminds me of how close I came to giving up and how far I came back. One last thing. A reporter came by not long ago. Said he was doing a story on elder scams. Asked if I had anything to say to other folks in my shoes. I said this: you don't stop being a parent just because your kid turns cruel. But you don't stop being a person either. Don't let anyone take what you worked for. Not even the ones you love. He said he liked that. I told him he could print it. Because I meant it.